Um, what if the random person you're texting on your phone right now is actually an angel in disguise, just quietly grading your every word?
Right, no pressure or anything.
Yeah, exactly. No pressure. And and what if, say, eating a bacon cheeseburger for lunch isn't just a dietary cheat day, but actually a profound cosmic act of supreme benevolence?
It sounds totally absurd when you say it like that, but
But that is exactly where we are heading. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Our mission today is to explore this genuinely mind-bending translated essay. It's from May 2018, and it's titled A Ramble About Life by an author named Shufeng.
and it is quite a ride.
It really is. We are going to map out how a philosophy that starts with something as simple as, daily kindness somehow escalates into this radical, incredibly complex theory of universal karma and strict zero-sum balance.
Yeah, and to set the stage for how we actually get to that cheeseburger defense, because I know you're all waiting for that,
Yeah.
we really have to look at the author's central metaphor first.
Ramble.
Exactly. He calls this essay a ramble, right? And he compares his free-flowing thoughts to mature dandelion seeds just sort of drifting in the wind.
Which sounds very peaceful, very zen.
It does. The imagery feels very breezy and unconstrained. But underneath that drifting seed is an intensely structured, unforgiving reality.
Unforgiving is the right word.
Yeah, he is describing a universe that operates as a flawless, meticulous ledger. It's a system where absolutely nothing slips through the cracks, and every single action has this unavoidable mathematical weight.
Right, so the seas might be floating, but they are landing on very solid, highly regulated ground. And that regulation doesn't start at the end of your life. It starts literally the moment you wake up.
Every single morning.
Yes. According to this framework, every single day you are standing in front of two doors. One door leads to heaven, and the other leads to hell.
And your destination isn't decided by some grand final declaration of faith at the end of your life.
No, not at all. It is determined entirely by how you treat the people and the things around you today, like in the totally mundane moments.
The author basically frames every 24-hour period as a literal ongoing exam given by what he calls the greatest creator.
Like a pop quiz every day.
More like a massive final exam every day. Your daily life is the test paper. The universe is just watching what you do and how you do it, and your ultimate destination is nothing more than the accumulated average of these daily scores.
So score well, and the path ahead is bright and open. Score poorly, and you find yourself trudging through mud.
Exactly. But it raises the question, if we are all sitting for this massive lifelong exam, who exactly is proctoring it?
Right, because we usually think of a test having a teacher pacing the aisles, looking over your shoulder.
And this is where he introduces that concept of disguised angels you mentioned earlier. The essay suggests that we actually have the profound fortune of potentially crossing paths with angels constantly.
But they don't look like angels.
No harps, no glowing beings descending from the clouds. They just take the form of everyday people. The author is very specific here. He actually points out that even a random avatar you interact with in a WeChat group might be an angel testing your character.
Okay, let's unpack this, because it sounds remarkably similar to navigating the world as if you were playing a massive multiplayer role-playing game.
Oh, like an RPG.
Yeah, exactly. With a hidden karma meter running on your heads-up display. Like every time you interact with an NPC, a non-player character, maybe a barista or some stranger online, that invisible meter shifts up or down.
That is a really great analogy. Treat them sincerely, and you might unlock what he calls the secrets of life. Dismiss them, and you fundamentally damage your own future.
But what happens when that hidden meter actually dips into the red? Like, what are the actual penalties here?
The consequences are severe, and honestly, the threshold for triggering them is shockingly low.
How low are we talking?
Well, the author capitalizes the word life, L-I-F-E, to emphasize its sacredness. If you hurt life, punishment is an absolute inevitability. The ledger demands balance.
So it's not just about, like, physical violence or massive headline-making crimes.
Not at all. He argues that giving someone a contemptuous look, using vulgar language, or just ridiculing a stranger carries a mandatory penalty.
Wow, a contemptuous look.
Yeah, he explicitly writes, do not take the chance and think that if you hurt a person or life, you will not be punished. It is impossible.
That paints a rather terrifying picture of our daily interactions, honestly. But if the universe is constantly penalizing us for a minor eye roll, Why don't we notice it happening? Like, I roll my eyes and lightning doesn't strike me.
We don't notice it because the universe utilizes what the author calls traceless punishments.
Traceless punishment.
Yeah, it is a penalty delivered without any obvious connection to the crime. He uses this wonderful metaphor. You reach out expecting to be handed a sweet, nourishing ginseng fruit.
But instead, you bite into sour plums.
Exactly. You wake up expecting a smooth workday, but suddenly you are walking into invisible obstacles, bizarre resistance, and just endless frustration.
I have to pause and push back on that, though, just on behalf of anyone listening who has ever just had a really bad Tuesday.
Fair enough.
Right. If these punishments are entirely traceless, how do we know we aren't just experiencing the random friction of living on planet Earth?
Like bad luck.
Yeah. Sometimes a car battery just dies. Sometimes a grocery store is just out of your favorite coffee. How does this philosophy differentiate between random bad luck and a targeted cosmic penalty for having a bad attitude in a group chat like a week ago?
What's fascinating here is that within this framework, the very concept of randomness is an illusion.
Really? An illusion?
Yes, it's born entirely out of human ignorance. There is no such thing as random bad luck. Every single sour plum, every stalled car, every dropped Wi-Fi signal is the direct mathematical result of an accumulated daily exam score. The universe doesn't do random, and it never makes an accounting error. If you are experiencing resistance today, it is because you generated that resistance previously.
So our output, the luck or friction we experience, is perfectly tied to our input, which is our action.
Precisely.
But, I mean, that creates a massive operational problem. If our actions are constantly being judged by this greatest creator, how are we supposed to judge the phenomena around us to know how to act?
Right, and the author anticipates that operational problem. He shifts from discussing our actions to dissecting our perception.
Okay.
To accurately analyze and judge any phenomenon in the world, he introduces a triad of basic factors. 3 things: affection, reason, and nature.
Affection, reason, and nature. I'm trying to picture how those 3 align. I imagine human beings are naturally wired to prioritize affection, right? Like our emotional response, our empathy, our sense of warmth.
We rely almost entirely on affection, which the author sees as our critical flaw. He points out how wildly complicated it is to align all 3 factors. Sometimes a situation fits affection, but violates reason and nature. Sometimes a situation fits nature, but lacks affection and reason.
And what's the hardest one to grasp?
The most difficult overlap of all is that there are ruthless phenomena events completely devoid of human warmth or empathy that are actually perfectly in line with reason and nature.
I'm trying to wrap my head around that specific overlap. Something ruthless, but reasonable and natural. Are we talking about something like a lion running down a gazelle on the savannah?
Okay, yeah.
Because from an affection standpoint, it's brutal, it's terrifying, but it's biology, it's nature.
That is a great starting point, but let's push it further into the environmental realm to really separate reason from nature, because they aren't the exact same thing here.
Okay, walk me through it.
Think of a massive forest fire sparked by a lightning strike. From the perspective of affection, it is a pure tragedy. Animals are displaced, ancient trees are destroyed. It is terrifying and ruthless. We instantly judge it as bad.
Right, any human would look at that and feel sorrow.
Exactly. But we have to look at the other 2 factors. In this framework, reason is the underlying mathematical logic of the ecosystem, the absolute necessity of clearing out dead underbrush to return carbon to the soil.
I see.
And nature is the physical, biological mechanism that executes that logic. The extreme heat required to crack open specific seed pods so new life can germinate.
So reason is the cosmic why, and nature is the physical how.
Precisely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the author is warning us about our own limited vantage point. When we jump to judge phenomena based solely on our human affection, we are usually wrong because we simply can't see the underlying reason or nature.
We're blind to the bigger math.
Yeah. The ultimate conclusion he draws is staggering. Because balancing those 3 factors perfectly requires near omniscience, the safest thing a human being can do is to stop judging the world altogether.
Just completely suspend judgment.
Yes. Judging without perfect information causes us to make mistakes, inflict harm, and rack up massive karmic debt on our daily exam.
I mean, suspending judgment on a lightning strike makes intellectual sense. We can accept the ecological science of a forest fire. But what about deeply entrenched human morality?
That's where it gets complicated.
Right. If we can't trust our affection, does this philosophy claim that things we universally view as good or moral might actually be wrong?
To answer that, the author shares a very specific real-world application from his own life.
Let's hear it.
In 2017, he traveled to the Pacific island country of Vanuatu. While there, he had a deep conversation with a man named Mr. Stephen, who ran a place called Eden of the East.
Okay.
Mr. Stephen was making a passionate moral argument for vegetarianism, specifically arguing that human beings should never eat pork.
And from the standpoint of the triad we just discussed, Mr. Stevens' argument is rooted entirely in affection.
Yes, 100%.
Feels empathetic and warm to spare the life of the animal. It feels ruthless to kill it.
Exactly. So the author listens to Mr. Stephen, acknowledges the role of affection, but then counters with the universal law of balance.
The ledger again.
The ledger. In this universe, the sum of all positive and negative energies must always equal zero. It is a strict zero-sum game. If you gain energy in one place, you must lose it in another.
It sounds like the laws of thermodynamics, but applied to morality.
It is cosmic physics, and he applies it directly to human behavior. If you use your words to hurt people, the universe balances that equation by eventually taking away your ability to speak.
Wow.
If you owe a debt, you will be forced to repay it. If you cruelly kill a life, you must balance the ledger by giving your own life.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because the author takes that zero-sum equation and applies it directly to the pig Mr. Stephen wants to save, right?
He does.
And he proposes a theory that completely shatters conventional morality. He suggests that the pig is not just a random biological animal.
No.
It is the literal reincarnation of a human soul that accrued massive cosmic debts in previous life.
A human who hurt others, took advantage of the weak, or killed another life.
Right. So this soul is reincarnated into the livestock world. And the physical body of the pig, its hair, its bones, its blood, its flesh, is the currency being used to pay off that massive karmic debt.
Yeah.
Am I understanding that correctly? It's like the universe operates a cosmic bankruptcy court. The soul of the human is the debtor. The physical body of the pig is the remaining asset.
That is an incredibly precise analogy. In a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, you liquidate the assets to wipe the debtor's slate clean. The author argues that consuming the meat of the pig is the liquidation of the asset.
The eating is the liquidation.
Yes, and because of that, eating the pork is not an act of cruelty, it is an act of supreme benevolence.
It completely flips the script.
Yeah.
Eating the bacon cheeseburger becomes a moral imperative.
Within his framework, yes. We are not endorsing this one way or the other, just laying out his logic. But in this view, you, the eater, are acting as the agent of the universe.
You're helping.
You are allowing that trapped soul to finalize its agonizing payment. By consuming the meat, the debt is finally settled, the ledger hits zero, and the soul is freed to leave the livestock world and reincarnate back into the human realm.
Which means, logically, Mr. Stevens' stance on vegetarianism has the exact opposite effect.
Refusing to eat the meat is actually an act of cruelty.
Because you're stopping the payment.
Exactly. By sparing the pig, you are denying the debtor the chance to pay what they owe. You trap that soul in the livestock world, forcing it to carry its massive debt and reincarnate as an animal again and again.
It's endless.
It is the perfect illustration of his warning about the triad. Sparing the pig aligns perfectly with human affection, but eating the pig aligns with cosmic reason and nature.
I mean, I'm just amazed by the sheer structural integrity of that logic, regardless of anyone's actual dietary habits or politics.
Yeah.
As impartial observers here, it's just fascinating.
It's a remarkably airtight internal logic.
It demonstrates how radically different every single interaction looks if you genuinely believe in a mathematical zero-sum law of cause and effect. But I want to scale this down a bit.
Yeah.
We've talked about massive life-or-death soul debts. How does this philosophy dictate we handle smaller, everyday, personal conflicts?
The daily friction.
Yeah. If the universe handles the big bankruptcies, what is my responsibility when, say, a coworker steals my idea at work, or a neighbor intentionally damages my property?
Well, the author contextualizes human conflict with a really beautiful proverb. Fish are in the water, people are in the Tao.
People are in the Tao.
The Tao represents the fundamental nature and flow of the universe. Just as a fish cannot escape the water, human interactions cannot escape the Tao.
Okay, follow.
Because of that strict zero-sum law of cause and effect we just applied to the pig, the author makes a very bold, comforting, yet frankly challenging claim.
Which is?
There is actually no such thing as being wronged.
No such thing as being wronged. That is a really tough pill to swallow for anyone who has been the victim of a malicious act.
Oh, absolutely. But he argues that the feeling of being wronged is just a symptom of our own ignorance.
Because we can't see the ledger.
Precisely. We feel wrong because we can't see the entire math problem. If someone hurts you, it isn't a glitch in the system. It is the system balancing an equation you couldn't perceive.
Like paying off a debt you didn't know you had.
Right. To emphasize this, he quotes another proverb. Divine punishments, though slow, are always sure. With big meshes, yet letting nothing slip through.
A net with giant holes that somehow catches every single fish.
The meshes look big to us because we operate on human time. We want immediate justice.
We want the person fired today.
Exactly. But the universe operates on cosmic time. It might take years or even lifetimes, but the net never fails. Because of the absolute certainty of that net, the author introduces a strict rule of non-retaliation.
Non-retaliation. At all.
At all. You must never, under any circumstances, deal with a man as he deals with you.
So what does this all mean for the listener walking into a hostile environment tomorrow?
It means a radical shift in behavior.
Let's say someone actively humiliates you in a meeting, like blatant sabotage. The author is saying you cannot retaliate with words, deeds, or actions. You can't even retaliate with your thoughts. You just have to sit there and offer good words. I imagine a lot of listeners hearing that and thinking it sounds like a recipe for becoming a perpetual doormat.
This raises an important question about what action really means in this philosophy. From our affection-based viewpoint, yes, it looks like passivity. It looks weak.
It does.
But in the author's framework, non-retaliation is an act of extreme, calculated, cosmic delegation. You aren't letting the saboteur get away with anything.
You're just not the one punishing them.
Right. You are recognizing that your personal revenge is incredibly inefficient and highly dangerous to your own daily exam score. The moment you retaliate, you generate new karmic debt.
So you dirty your own hands and lower your own score to punish someone who is already caught in that anyway.
Exactly. It's the exact opposite of what a rational person should do. By stepping back, you hand the perpetrator over to the Tao.
Let the universe handle it.
You trust the big meshes to deliver the saboteur's sour plums in due time, and in mathematically perfect proportion. You are outsourcing your justice to the cosmos to keep your own ledger perfectly balanced.
What a profound journey this essay takes us on. I mean, we started by looking at our smartphones, realizing that the random people in our group chats might be disguised angels holding the red pen for our daily exams.
Grading our every emoji.
Yeah, exactly. We explored how our own human empathy, our affection, can blind us to the deeper reason and nature of the universe. We waded into the mind-bending karmic economics of Vanuatu, where a pig is a debtor and consuming it is an act of cosmic liberation.
Which is still just wild to think about.
It really is. And finally, we ended up learning how to swim peacefully in the Tao, delegating our desire for petty revenge to the slow, inescapable justice of the universe's net.
It is a totally comprehensive framework. And honestly, it demands a level of hyper-awareness regarding your everyday actions that is both exhausting and deeply meaningful. Nothing is mundane.
Nothing at all. Which means, for you listening, every single interaction you have for the rest of today is being recorded.
Every single one.
The barista you order from, the driver who cuts you off in traffic, the tone you use in your next email, it is all going on the daily exam.
Good luck out there.
Right. Which brings me to one final thought I want to leave you with, something to mull over regarding the idea that even our unspoken thoughts can trigger those traceless punishments.
The sour plums.
Yes, the sour plums. Think back to a time recently when you experienced a bizarre, completely unexplainable string of minor bad luck. The car keys went missing, you stubbed your toe, the Wi-Fi dropped during a crucial moment.
We've all had those days.
Was it really just the random friction of a bad day? Or, based on what we've explored today, was the universe quietly settling an invoice for a silent, uncharitable judgment you made about a stranger weeks ago? If our minds are constantly generating cosmic debts and credits, who owes who in the hidden ledger of your life right now?
That is a deeply unsettling yet completely fascinating lens to view your next minor inconvenience through.
It really is. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Go out there, protect your ledger, and keep your eyes peeled for angels today.